we're learning about an evaporative system on a 2008 GMC Canyon today. And the evaporative system captures fuel vapors or hydrocarbons that happen from fuel evaporating. It stores those vapors and then allows a way to draw the vapors back into the engine and burn them. The system also has a way to detect leaks, which is what we're trying to figure out today, P0442, a small Evap leak in a GMC Canyon. So I'm going to go over the components of the Evap system in this vehicle, and then we'll go look at the car and find those components on the car. Well, the most obvious thing is you got a gas tank. And from the gas tank, you have a vapor line that goes to a charcoal canister. And as fuel evaporates from the tank, it moves through the vapor line into the charcoal media, and the charcoal media is going to absorb the hydrocarbons or the gas fumes from those vapors. And then when the car is running, we're going to draw the vapors out through a purge line up here to a purge solenoid, and the purge solenoid opens the purge line to the intake manifold. So our engine is sucking through our purge line. We have fuel vapors that as they evaporate are moving into the charcoal media. The charcoal media extracts the hydrocarbons, and then to allow that pressure somewhere to go, there is a vent line and a vent solenoid. Now the vent solenoid and the purge solenoid are important in monitoring for leaks. So the last part that we're going to need to check for a leak in this system is a pressure sensor right here on the top of the fuel tank. So to check for a leak, the system is going to close the vent solenoid. Then it's going to open the purge solenoid, the engine vacuum. So we draw a vacuum inside the system. The pressure sensor sees that vacuum. If we can achieve a vacuum, we know that there's not a massive leak, like if we left our fuel cap off. Once we achieve the vacuum, then we close our purge solenoid. And if we have no leaks, we should maintain that engine vacuum. If we have a leak, the vacuum will fall off. We'll come back up to atmospheric pressure pretty quick because atmosphere is leaking in somewhere. So we're going to go find these components on the vehicle and see if we can't find where this Evap system's leaking. All right, so we're looking at, instead of the whiteboard, our vehicle here, and this big plastic tank is our fuel tank or gas tank. And as you take a look at the top of the gas tank, we can find a pressure sensor right here. This is a 3-wire sensor, 3 pins right there. This is our fuel pump connector right here. This is going to be a 4-wire sensor or 4-wire connector. And this guy right here is our vapor line. And if we follow our vapor line back, we can trace it all the way back here to our charcoal canister. So the vapor line from the gas tank goes into a charcoal canister, and then out of the charcoal canister we have our purge line. This line is going to travel along the frame rail. It's going to go all the way up front to the engine. And then this last line over here that comes over to this guy is a vent solenoid. Our vent solenoid is normally open. That means when there's no power to it, this is wide open and we are able to flow excess pressure through the vent and into the atmosphere. When we're checking for leaks, the computer commands the solenoid on and closes it. Now the last part of this system that we haven't looked at is our purge solenoid, and we got to go up front to see the purge. All right, we're under the hood now, and we're looking for the purge line. And an easy way to spot a purge line on American cars is this green test cap that they put on top of the purge line. So this metal line coming up to this green cap is from the charcoal canister in the back, and then there's a line going down, and we're not going to see the purge solenoid because it's buried under the intake manifold here. But this is going to the purge and then into the intake manifold. Okay, so we're doing an evaporative smoke test now And we've got our fill and our vent here plugged so we're not leaking smoke. And we're checking over the evaporative system. Here's our fuel supply line, here's our vent line. And we have to look really close. We're looking for smoke. And if you're able to see right here, we're actually blowing smoke out of the top of the fuel pump through a rust hole right here. And my suggestion would be on these particular vehicles, if you have a small leak and you're able to visually inspect the plastic purge line and vent line and you don't see a crack, suspect the fuel pump, especially if your fuel pump has grown this rusty. And we're just watching the smoke come out right there, and unless you look really close, it's hard to see.